Hey friends, how's everyone doing? Hope you're all doing well. And I wanted to talk a bit about the pending OPEC issues. For those of you who have not heard, OPEC is planning to reduce its production with the intent of boosting oil prices. Now, it may be doing this for a variety of reasons. I can conjecture as to some, but the bottom line is we are going to feel it at the pump. So I'll be right back, and let's talk a little bit more about this energy situation that may be going into 2023. I'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. This is the Roaming Prepper channel, and I am your host. Thank you for joining me once again to hear me rattle on about things that are pissing us all off and are affecting our lives. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I do try to make my own premieres, but in the event my work schedule, which is very possible this week, makes me miss this premiere, feel free to put any questions or comments in the comments below the video, and I will make every effort to answer them in a timely manner. So what was I talking about? The OPEC energy issue. Okay, so OPEC has decided to cut production on the basis of keeping the petroleum price up. Now, that being said, it's actually not an OPEC decision. I stand corrected. It's OPEC Plus, which also includes Russia. Now, with OPEC Plus essentially taking Russia's side on the oil situation, despite our president's repeated requests to the Middle East to increase production, to deflate the price of oil, to basically suck the economics out of the war between Russia and Ukraine by taking away the big money maker for the Russians, they're actually doing the opposite. They're going to cut production so the price of oil goes upward. And what this is going to do, obviously, on the face value of it, it's going to boost up the price of oil and subsequently the derivatives of oil, which would be, butane, propane, gasoline, and diesel. Now, natural gas, which is a separate product and does not always reside with oil reserves, is also going to go up. And variety of reasons, but yes, it has to do in large part with the Russian embargoes and the now damage to the pipeline that occurred under the Black Sea on the Russian pipeline, the Nord Stream, going to Germany. So basically, across the board, energy prices will go up. Now, OPEC doesn't plan to do this until November. The markets are going to freak out for a few days, then they'll probably calm down. Ultimately, it will reach the market. There's kind of a delayed effect. So what does this mean for us? Well, with the increased price, oil, gas, we already seen this earlier this year with the price of gas. You're going to see it translate into delays, supply chain issues, and price increases for commercial and consumer goods. Okay. Also, travel, hotels. If you work in the hospitality, travel industries, you're a trucker or CDL driver, you're going to see those prices go up as well. You'll also, with the natural gas and the heating oils, see the price of heating, cooling, and energy for your home go up. So, yeah, what they're doing is basically giving the inflationary effect a drink of Red Bull. They're giving it a steroid shot to wig it out for the end of the year. Now, this could be occurring because they want to take a swipe at our president. This could be occurring because they want to support Russia. It could be occurring for other reasons that I'm not even thinking of and we may not be aware of. So by all means, if you happen to have some kind of idea why else they'd want to do this, a lot of people speculate they're just trying to crash the global economy so they can create this new world order or new global economy. I don't disagree with you, and it could be that as well. And I'm saying that at the risk of this video getting taken down, which another one I've put up has been taken down already. But yeah, I don't disagree. Bottom line is a lot of very powerful people are playing Monopoly with the rest of us, which pisses me off. But That's all we can do. So yes, this will, and I've been in the energy sector and various aspects of it for a quarter century. I can speak to this all day long. So yeah, you're going to see the prices go up. Now keep in mind, they're predicting, the analysts that I follow are predicting oil will go above 100, probably in the 110, 120 range. When we had that happen the last time, it put gasoline in Texas, Oklahoma, and the southern states about $3.55 to $4.50 a gallon, and on the coasts, on the East Coast, it was up in the 5, 6, and the West Coast, it was in the 8 range. I mean, it went crazy over there. So it's going to be a very inconsistent and asymmetric distribution of cost across the country, depending on where you are, what the tax situation is in your state on gasoline, and a bunch of other factors, logistics and availability and infrastructure and such. So that's what's going to happen. So if you have any large purchases or bulk purchases, rice, food, anything like that, keep in mind this will affect farms across the world. It's not just the USA or Canada or Europe. It's going to hit everybody. If there are certain products that you get that you typically buy in bulk, now's a good time to get them. They're probably lower priced at the moment because the market kind of took a dive, took a dip. Grab what you can, store it intelligently, stay on your budget, and just do smart things. Don't freak out about it. Now, we now have to transition to what do we do besides, stock up on food, make sure we have batteries. If there's consumer products you've been putting off, you may want to try to get them sooner than later. Stay on budget, of course, and so that while there's availability, because there may not be later on. Remember, the general public has been about 12 to 16 weeks behind the preparedness and geopolitical communities, if you will. So we have that little window. You figure a month before they do the decrease, and then about 6 weeks before people freak out about it. So you've got a window to maneuver a little bit. Now, other things you can do. With respect to the gasoline prices, they'll probably go up. There are a lot of things you can do. One, make sure your car's got a tune-up, is in good running shape. It's the most efficient it can be for the design of vehicle. Obviously, a pickup truck is not going to get the same mileage as a Honda Accord, but make sure your vehicle, regardless of what it is you have, is in the best possible shape you can keep it in based on your budget and situation, so that it's using the least amount of gas. Make sure your tires are properly inflated. You have no idea how much that can affect your fuel efficiency. Take only trips that are necessary. Combine trips. Earlier in the year, we had to make a long trip and the price of gas had gone up. So instead of making one trip to Houston, one to Dallas, one via Austin, one to San Antonio, we made one trip. We took a week off and basically hit all the cities, visited all the relatives, bought all the things we need in the pickup truck, basically came home with a packed truck. But it was one trip, one set of hotel rooms, one round trip, and not in and out, and burning gas. That was a long trip, and it was kind of a vacation / shopping trip, one of those kind of deals. But you get what I'm saying. Combine your trips. If you're going to go to location A and you have to go to location B later, go on the same trip. If you can take those days off, hit A, go to B, and then come back home. You've made one round trip instead of going in and out repeatedly from home. Make sure your air filters are in good shape. Your fuel filters are in good shape. Also, and I'm going to curse right now, don't drive like an asshole. If you're doing jackrabbit starts, slamming on the brakes, cutting people off, you're burning up way more fuel. And if you're that big a shit, maybe it's good, maybe the ones who aren't listening to me, you drive like that, you're going to run out of gas on the side of the road, and then the rest of us can go about our day without the threat of death from your stupidity. But all kidding aside, drive nicely, drive calmly, stay with traffic flow, don't haul ass, don't jackrabbit start, don't zoom around like a crazy person. Also, if you can carpool, very good idea there too, right? Instead of 5 people from one subdivision all going to the same office, if you don't hate each other, alternate. Joe goes one week and picks everyone up every morning. Mary goes the next week, picks everyone up in the morning, and you guys can kind of combo ride. If you have mass transit, I suggest using that. Take advantage of it. That's as far as the gasoline. Now, if you have a generator and you want to get gas, get it now. Don't forget the stabilizer, and it should be good for a couple of years. So you buy today's gas and use it tomorrow on today's pricing. I've said the same about food. Eat tomorrow on today's pricing, eat today on yesterday's pricing. Assuming yesterday's pricing is better. You get what I'm saying. So as far as the fuel, gasoline in particular, there you go. Now, as far as the natural gas for heating, cooling, etc., there are things you can do at home. Check your windows, close up drafts, insulate the house. If you can replace windows that you need to, great. Those are very expensive. If you can't do that, buy the foam insulation that you get at Lowe's or wherever the hell you get it, and just put it in. Basically improvise. If you have gaps, you can use that foam in the walls and kind of fill in some gaps to prevent air loss. You also keep critters from going in and out. You can also apply shading to your windows in your house. Some people put aluminum foil. I think that makes it look like a crack house, but it does work. But if you don't want to go that route, you can also buy the shading material and the tinting and put it on your house windows. We've done that in our master bedroom because it actually, the way it's angled, I get the morning sun, and it actually really helped the house, and it kept it cooler during the summer. Another thing I'd recommend, so you don't have to leave your lights on as much, is to get solar garden lights or solar setup for your yard. I have solar lights across the entire backyard. Every 6 feet or every 12 feet, I have a solar light on the fence. So when we had the blackout here in Texas, I was like, where's that light coming from? It was my little lights, which normally are barely noticeable with all the electric lights going on. But when the grid went down, they still provided enough light for me to go in the yard and walk around and function without breaking my ass. You put some extra ones in the garden bed, and then if the power goes out or if you want to reduce electricity consumption, you can bring those solar lights into the house, and they'll provide enough light for you to do your evening stuff and then go to bed, right? And then if it runs out of power during the night, who cares? You put it back out in the morning and charge it up again for the next night. There's actually a string light I saw online that has a solar panel where you can basically put it out in the yard, put the solar panel out, let it charge up, and then run it through the curtains in the living room, and it kind of illuminates the main part of the house with just enough light to function and walk around. You probably can't read a book with it, but you can walk around and not hurt yourself. Wear warmer clothes inside the house, or wear cooler clothes, depending on whether you're cool or hot. I'm assuming going into the winter, most of us will be cold. If you can afford and find a Jackery or some similar solar generator, that's always a good option. Keep them charged at all times. I keep mine charged up at 100%. I check them every other weekend. I have a reminder on my phone, check the Jackeries. I go and make sure if they fall below 95%, I plug them in, bring them to 100. Every now and then I'll actually use them for something to draw the battery down and put it back on. There are a lot of practical, low-cost things you can do, knowing what we know that the prices will go up in the next couple of months. Now, they may not go up as much as we think. That's great. But understand, the president has already used the strategic reserve to try and bring the gas prices down as it is. So the reserve is already low, and we're picking fights with people, so they can't afford to keep drawing that down, because if we get in a shooting war, we need that fuel. Now, do I think we will? I hope not. But I didn't think Putin would actually attack Ukraine. I thought he was bluffing and looking for a deal, and he went and did it anyway. So, there are times we're wrong. In either case, we know it's coming. React accordingly now, so that when the prices go up, not if, but when, and they will, we're not freaking out. Now, Europeans, you guys are in much more trouble because your availability of sun is way different than Texas. We have wind, solar, gas out here. You guys don't. You're going to have to get creative. Warm weather stuff, cold weather stuff, buy extra blankets. So instead of running the heater in the house, you use the extra blankets. When you have the ability to do full loads of laundry, so you get all the laundry done at one time, and then you can turn off the machines and put everything up. Also cook in batches. So if you're going to make bread, don't just cook one loaf of bread, cook 3 or 4. If you're going to prep meals, prep 3 or 4 and put them in the refrigerator. If you're canning, pressure canning, that's a great time. You could prep 8 or 9 meals at one time with the pressure canner. So prep the foods ahead, keep your tank full of gas, so in case for whatever reason the price really does a weird spike, you're not completely caught off guard in the middle of nowhere. If you're going to store fuel, store it safely in a proper container. Do not be the guy on YouTube or TikTok or whatever that's driving around with a plastic liner in the bed of a pickup truck with gasoline sloshing around like those jackasses I saw last year. Don't be that jackass. Okay, aside from being a chemical burn hazard, the freaking truck can blow up. I mean, if that gas had gone into the exhaust, it would have caught fire and that thing would have become a rolling fireball, which honestly actually sounded pretty cool. But that's terrible to say, but it would be cool. In any case, guys, look, there's no reason to panic. This is the time. This kind of information, especially when you have people who have a background in it, you know, some of the prepper channels are mechanics, some are ex-military, some are history teachers, some are lawyers. You know, we have all different backgrounds. I'm an energy engineer. I get what's going to happen. Take advantage of our expertise and what we've done, and then plan based on what you can do. Okay, just because I think it's a good idea, it may not be possible for you. But now's the time. You got a few weeks, you got a couple of months. Take the time to plan things out and say, okay, if the price goes up, how do I cut back on my usage? How do I cut back on my mileage? Do I work remote more? There's another one. Tell your boss, hey, with the price of gas, I'm only going to go to necessary meetings. I'm going to work remote. Or carpool with your buddies. Right now, when we have luncheons, we have different people all dealing with the same customer company or client company. We'll get 3 or 4 of the engineers, go out with 3 or 4 of their guys, and then everyone's at one table. Instead of having 4 separate lunches on 4 topics, we have one big lunch with 8 people, and we talk about everything at one time. And everyone saves a trip. You can do the same with family. Instead of visiting your Aunt Sarah and visiting Uncle Tom and visiting your cousin, tell everyone, hey, everyone meet here. Let's have one big gathering and everyone have a party. And then you take home all the leftovers and freeze them. Anyway, guys, you get what I'm saying. Now's the time to take intelligent action, not freak out. This is what we do. We look at the trends, we look at what's happening and say, what's my next step? Okay. This is the kind of stuff we should be able to handle. So I'm sure we got this. You got it. I'm sure I got it if I can keep my brain straight with the lack of sleep lately. Anyway, guys, God bless. Godspeed. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And thank you for joining me on this one. You guys take care of yourselves. Be safe. And remember, this is why we pay attention, so that we can make those plans before they fall on our head. All right, guys, you be good. I'll see you later.